I was now telling my father Dracula Tepish that I am the tether to this world and its universe, and I said with conviction, my mere presence or existence, depending on how you look at it, is woven into the very fabric of creation itself, and if I die then this universe dies with me, and that's the truth. So if I fall then everything else will fall apart without me, and there's nothing or no one that can change that, and it's a fact. And then my father said, so it's true you are a god? And I said yes, but not in the way you think. You see, there's a god in every universe, and a god exists everywhere across every timeline and across every universe. There's someone like me, and there's even other lesser gods and even demigods. There's even other sentient beings from other planets, and in the future these beings will be called aliens. Let's just say that the future will surprise you all one day. And then my father Dracula Tepish said, very interesting, so there's other gods? And then I said, well, there's one true god, and he manages everything with his powers, and we are the beings that carry out his will, so to speak. And then Dracula asked me, so you're a version of God, sort of? And then I said, yes, sort of, in a way. And then I said, think about this, Jesus Christ is very real, and he's the son of Father God, but he existed in every universe. There's a version of him, and that's the thing about gods, they exist across every universe and across every timeline, and that's what makes them infinite in power. They exist in everything. And I said, think about time travel. Well, it's not just about time, it's about existence itself, and that's why beings like me are different from ordinary mortals, because in every universe you go to there's a different version of me, and not always the same person, but someone that has powers like mine. So I hope you understand all that. And then my father Dracula Tepish said, I do understand. And then we all walked back to my father's castle. And meanwhile, in Trevor Belmont's point of view, I am going to take that man's advice and go to that town, Grezit I guess it's called. And then he saw the sign, and he saw it was in bad shape, but there were still big walls around the entire city. And then I saw it, and it smelled like death. Blood was pouring down from the city's draining system. And then I thought, I can't walk around showing off my coat to everyone in this city, I will have to be careful, so I covered myself for now. But when I got inside the city in the town square, I was very surprised to find out that there's no vampires in the city for now. And then I thought, could it be, have they abandoned this place? And I saw other humans walking around freely in this town called Grezit, and then I wasn't so reluctant to walk around without my cloak on anymore. And then I saw some kind of old man in robes getting bullied by the same church that burned down my family home with most of my family inside. And in my opinion, that so-called church that kills people doesn't work for God, they are working for the devil, and they are no better than the vampires. Hell, they are worse than the vampires. Ever thought about being a bunch of religious zealots? I was actually supposed to be a slave for the Sisters of Styria, but I stayed hidden in my family's other safe house for many years, and that's what saved me from becoming a slave. But if I can get back home, I can get my family's weapons from our bunker. I'm hoping there's something or anything that could maybe kill all those monsters and the other master vampires. I managed to save the old man, who said he's trying to find his daughter Sypha Belnades, and he asked for my help, and he even offered to pay me if I helped him. He might even give me plenty of booze, and I liked the sound of that, so I decided to help the old man because, to be honest, I liked him anyway. And then I thought about something. I'm going to need to kill all those church maniacs that believe they need to kill anyone they deemed unworthy of God. They are all just wrong, and I can't allow them to kill any more innocent people, so they must be stopped. And I must save that old man and his people along with his family, because they used magic to slay monsters and vampires. They've been labeled evil people by that so-called church that claimed they are helping people when really they are just making things worse for everyone else. And to be honest, I hate them because I know what they are all doing is very wrong, and I can't allow all that to go on much longer. And I'm a good man, but even I have my limits on how much I can tolerate even from regular humans. So for once I'm going to start doing something about it, because I can't stand by and do nothing anymore. I've decided to start doing good things again, even it costs me my life. I'm fine with it. I'm tired of hiding, but I still want to go back home. I guess maybe I'm hoping someone rebuilt my old house. And then when I reached the underground tunnels, I found a bunch of statues, and one of them looked like the woman he described.